Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to our kitchen, Pinky Mouse Cakes, Cookies, and Candy, and Pinky Mouse Kitchen Sisters in the Kitchen. I'm a little irritated right now because we've been working with this internet, and I hope that it works. Anyway.
I'm Mary.
I'm Linda, the loud one. So today we are making cookie cups, and we're actually going to take not what we bake here today. Y'all can have those, but I'm making this to take to Mississippi.
Right.
So y'all know we're going to Mississippi Thursday. We're very excited about that. So we've got a bunch of little different steps here. So we're going to get started with this, and I've got the oven on 350, and for our members, for our followers that watch us faithfully, you've seen this cookie recipe before, part of it, but I'm actually going to do these turtle cookie cups.
Okay.
So we're going to be putting some chocolate, some caramel, and some toasted pecans in the little well that I make for the cookie.
Good.
So I made brown butter this morning, and I made a couple of batches because I'm actually going to be making, a pretty good batch of this. Some of us aren't eating sugar, but there'll be some people there that will. And so I wanted to make sure that we had enough.
Sure.
So I've got my brown butter. If you'll notice it, it's solidified. And you see all that good brown stuff on the bottom. So if you've seen us make this, and I'll tell you how we made it, I'm not planning on making it on air, but I will tell you it's really simple to do. This is 2 sticks of butter. It is salted, and you want to put it in a shiny pan. Like, don't do it in a dark pan. It makes it go darker. Like when you're cooking,
dark stuff. Yeah,
cookie
your
sheets,
bacon
it
does.
It makes them go darker. Yeah. So all this is 2 sticks of butter, and you want to start it out on like a medium to low heat, and have you a metal spoon, and you're almost like you're doing like you would cook a steak, where you're putting butter over a steak. You're just constantly stirring your butter. It will get foamy. I've heard some of you say that y'all tried this and the butter was real foamy. It does get foamy. It will start turning after about maybe 5 or 6 minutes. And when it starts getting brown, it gets brown fast. So you don't want to burn it. You're just constantly stirring it. Don't walk away from it, because you'll think you got time to walk away and you wind up burning your butter. So once you see all that good brown stuff in the bottom of your boiler, just take it off the heat, put it in a container to cool. Now this is a glass container, and I'll tell you a little tip that I did. If you ever have a glass container and there's a air vent, or it's a fan or air blowing on it, and you pour something hot in it, guess what's going to happen? It's going to bust.
Exactly. It'll crack.
So, yes, yeah. And I've had that to happen, so I know what I'm saying. I warmed this in the microwave.
Did you?
For about 20 seconds, just to, take the chill off of the glass container, and then I poured my butter in it. So we're going to get started with this, and when you put this in your bowl, make sure you get every bit of that brown stuff out of there. And Mary, you're going to do the dry ingredients.
Do you want me to put the dry ingredients in the small bowl? Okay.
And
is this all-purpose flour?
It is all-purpose flour.
Okay. All-purpose flour is 2 1/4 cups.
That smells so good.
Butter, I know.
I never knew brown butter could smell so good. It has a real nutty flavor to it. And like I said, you want to make sure you get every bit of that out of your container, because this is the only liquid besides the eggs that's in the cookies, and you need all of this. And it's not liquid, but, it's moisture.
That's 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour.
Still feels like there's some in there.
I'm going to put 1 teaspoon.
Yes.
1 teaspoon of baking soda. Not baking powder, baking soda.
I know. I got both of them out this morning, and
Did
then
you?
I realized I don't need the baking powder. I just need the baking soda.
1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch.
Now I've got my butter in here. I'm going to get, we are sponsored by Imperial Sugar. This is Imperial light brown sugar. It's not diet, it's just light in color. That's always something that's always funny to me because Mike always thought this was diet sugar. There is no diet sugar, honey. I got news for you. And the fake stuff I don't do. Y'all know I don't do fake stuff. So you want to make sure that your cup is packed. This is just a packed cup of light brown sugar. And then I'm going to have 2 large eggs. Actually, they're extra large, but they're not that large.
I'm just whisking these dry ingredients together so you won't get a taste of salt or.
Have you done that before?
Cornstarch.
Taste
Yes,
something and
yes.
what is that taste? And it's a yucky taste, a mouthful of salt. Or,
If you don't get it incorporated good in your dry ingredients, when it hits wet, it's going to stay there. So.
okay, so I've got 2 extra large eggs. They're not large. I mean, they're, in my opinion, they're not extra large, but that's what they're, the carton that they come in. And then I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I always say, if you have the good stuff, the extract, you want to use it. If you don't, and you can't get it, or you can't afford it, use what you got. But if you can, it will make a world of difference in your baking. Okay, so
I love the smell of brown sugar,
I do
vanilla.
too. It smells so good. So I'm going to whip this together real quick. It won't take long. And then, Mary, you can just kind of put a little bit in here after I get this whipped up. Whoops,
Okay.
I don't have my battery on. I guess it's not going to work without the battery.
I'm going to use one of them.
They're going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking flour. Brown butter smells so
It
good.
does.
I just love that mixer.
I do too.
Like a kitchen power tool.
Yeah. Are you ready to mix the rest of it in there?
Yeah. And just so you'll know, this is a pretty stiff cookie dough, and I usually always chill my cookie dough. I'm not going to chill this for time purposes, and I could have made a batch ahead of time, but I didn't. I probably would have had time, but you know, there's a lot of work getting all this,
Yeah,
all
it
this
is.
stuff together. Y'all may not know it, but it is. It
It
doesn't.
is. It's
It
a lot of
doesn't
work.
come together fast.
Sure does smell good.
Thank you. I'm gonna
And
get
it looks like a real good dough, Linda.
It is. It's a real good dough.
And it's not dry and it's not too wet. I can tell by looking at it when you press it down
Yeah, you can
that it's
always-
going to press down real good in your
You
pans.
can always tell if it's going to be good
Yeah.
cookie dough.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, it looks real good.
Let's see. Y'all bear with me just a second. There was a couple things that I did not get out. Now, what am I looking for?
Okay.
This. Straighten up
Okay.
the sides of that, Mary,
Okay.
if you will, please.
Are you just going to get it out of here? Or-
No, I just want you to scrape down the sides.
Okay.
We're gonna use the cookie to
Okay.
it's not what I want.
Just to scoop it, put it in the pans.
Oh, there's what I'm looking for. Okay.
See how nice it looks? It's real nice, but real nice dough.
I think I'm just doing these little deli sheets. Okay.
And how many do you get out of this?
I'll tell you when we get
I figured she already knew.
Well, you know, I normally do, Mary, but it depends on what size pans
Yeah.
you're using.
Yeah.
And we're going to use these whoopie pans. These are not Pampered Chef. They're cake balls. I bought one of these at one of our discount stores. And let me grab a paper towel. It's got a little bit of drip of water in it. And I think I paid like $4.99 or $5.99 for it. It's been a long time ago. Well, you know, when you have pans, you need at least two alike, right?
That's true.
If you're crazy obsessive with bacon like I am, you have probably 4 or 5. I ordered the one on Amazon. I think it was like $30.
Oh my goodness.
But we're going to use these. But I want to also show you, if you don't have these pans, you can use muffin pans. In fact, we're going to use a muffin pan too. So I'm going to, we'll put one of those out.
Okay.
And this has got butter in it, so we're not even going to butter these. And I think we're going to try, I have another medium scoop.
This is the
that is the,
medium.
that's the
Pepper.
large.
Oh, this is the
That's
large.
And so I think I'm going to try one with
large
that one.
in
I
the
don't
muffin
know
pan?
that will work, and make sure it's, it's not a big scoop, just a, level scoop. So I'm going to use the 2 in this. And
Now, do you press this down with your little wooden thing
yeah,
here?
you can use your little wooden thing. And I've got those deli sheets, but it's doing okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have one of these, you can use a little bitty small glass or something
And
to.
the rolling pan,
Yeah.
I was going to get 2 or 3 things out to show
Yeah.
them different options that they
Right.
could use with that.
You just kind of press it down and then go around the edges. Is that what you wanted to come up like
yes,
that?
it absolutely. That's
Okay.
what I want. And I'm just doing them in this pan too because I want to show you the
Do you want me to go,
difference.
are we going to have enough to do both pans out of this?
I don't know. Maybe. Might not be completely enough, but we'll check.
You go ahead and get yours full before I get any more out.
And actually, the muffin pans are probably going to be better for what I want this for. So if we don't have enough, we'll take some out of here.
Is that right? Is that the way you want it?
Yeah, it doesn't have to. It can be rustic. Yeah, this is a really good cookie dough. And you can tell with all the butter in it, it's not going to stick to this pan.
No.
These are nonstick sheets, and I wouldn't say, I would say definitely to use a nonstick sheet.
Yeah, I would too.
Muffin pan
Yes,
or,
yes.
you know, the old timey ones like years ago, they were not nonstick. They didn't have this fancy stuff
Right.
back when we were growing up.
And they would stick, and they were so hard to clean up. Get the. I hope I'm doing this to please you.
You're doing it fine.
I'm not. Am I mashing it down too? Did you want the bottom thick? You know what I'm saying? Because I've I just want it to where it's, you know, like you're doing it here. You're doing fine. Because we're going to fill this little cup with chocolate and pecans and caramel. Don't that sound good? Mm-hmm.
Sounds delicious.
I love turtles. I love anything with chocolate and pecans
Yeah.
and caramel.
I'm going. I've never done any like this, Linda. So I really don't know how thin. But I'm thinking to myself when I'm doing this that I might need to make the crust a little bit thicker, not thin, because we don't want it to break.
No, we don't.
So
Am I putting enough in them?
Yeah. What you're putting in is fine. But I'm just saying I don't need to mash it down so like I was.
Okay.
And I may be wrong, but I'm just thinking that I might better
Now
leave
I'm going
the
to
crust.
use this little Wilton rolling pin here. I'm going to actually press them with my hands, and then I'll make a little hole. You know, I did my lemon ice cookies. I
Yeah,
made them in this
right.
pan. And you can make a little well with your hands. It's not as deep as these are, but you can still make an indentation.
Yeah.
What is that wooden thing you're using called again?
don't
It's
know.
Pampered Chef, and I was
Yeah.
going to look, and I didn't look, but it is a Pampered Chef item,
Okay.
and it will be,
I haven't ordered one of these since I've been selling Pepper Chef, but the one I've got came years ago. Years ago, I got it from a lady in our church that was selling Pepper Chef.
I will
And-
I will run in there in a minute and see if I can put my hands on one. That probably won't happen, but I'll see if I can, and I'll see what the name.
It
the
looks,
name of it is.
it's just like the one I've got.
Or I could look in the book, couldn't I? In the catalog, that might be a quicker way to do it. Everything's in such a mess around here because I've got boxes stacked everywhere.
Okay, I try not to get these as thin on the bottom.
Okay,
Try
so
not to.
to answer your question, that was 12, 15, 18, 21, 22.
Okay.
Now, if you were doing them in muffin pans, I'm going to say that it would make about 18, right, Mary?
Yeah.
About a dozen
Yeah.
and a half. So we're going to put these in the oven at 350 and see if we can get these baked.
Well, I don't know. I walked away from the camera. I forgot I carried a pan over there same time she carried one. We forget. We just walking around the kitchen and doing our thing. But I'm still feeling good today. Thank the Lord.
Yay.
Thank the Lord. I am feeling wonderful today.
Got several people asking.
I'm feeling great. I am feeling great. Felt good yesterday. Matter of fact, this is the third day that I'm feeling good. I think I'm getting situated with my medication. I think my body is adjusting to it.
Charla Gray
Uh-huh.
says that she has the Pampered Chef wooden dough press and she loves it.
Is that what that is?
It's a wooden
guess it
dough
is.
Okay,
press.
thank you,
Okay.
Charlotte.
Thank you, Charlotte.
One of our
I've had mine for
friends have to
years.
tell us what we got.
Yeah.
We're Pampered Chef
And
people and didn't
I
even
have
know.
used it, but what I used it for was making hors d'oeuvres and with pie crust and press it down and then put cheese and sausage and ham, stuff like that, like a little piece. That's what I use mine for.
I'm fixing to go over there and melt some chocolate and some caramel. But before I do that, I don't want to forget, thank you all so very much. I have not been able to answer each birthday message personally. I've read a lot of them, but for some reason these messages are on delay. And I'm
Yeah.
sending messages today that I got Saturday
Yeah.
and did not see them Saturday.
Mine's that way.
So thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart
Yes.
for every birthday message from my sister and my nieces, my nephew, and for Scott and for Mike, everybody that had a part in my birthday. Thank you very much. I got this sweet set of white diamonds from
Isn't that nice?
Cherry Ann, and Cherry Ann, we've met her several times.
Yes.
Thank
Hi,
you
Cherry
so
Ann.
much, and I love
Hi.
the little container too to put
Yeah,
that
uh-huh.
in. Isn't that sweet?
It is so nice.
So thank you for that. I got 2 checks, one from Linda Joyce Oates. Thank you very much, Linda. And also one from Charla Gray. Thank you, Charla. And I got bookmarks, many pretty cards, Dottie Rimbo tape. What else was I supposed to? Oh, the little cross. You can show
Yeah.
that too.
And Marla sent Linda and myself a cross and a beautiful card.
And she sent me a
Oh,
little
that's
notebook too. And is something else? Let's see.
Um,
Make sure. Bookmarkers. Oh yes, there is something else.
I'm feeling better. And I got lots of thank you cards, and I told y'all yesterday. I mean, get well cards. I appreciate it so much. And then I got a couple of 2 people sent me money, and I appreciate that. And that was Linda Oates and Barbara Hunt. I had to think a minute, Barbara Hunt. Thank y'all.
So this is, Mary hasn't seen this, and Carla, this is willow tree, and Mary, over the years, Mary has bought me several willow trees, and I have them back there in my spare bedroom, and they're beautiful little carved pieces, and this one Kathleen Tyree sent, and the name of this one is Sister Vine, and she
Isn't that
said
sweet?
reminded her of me and Mary.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
thought that
that's
was
sweet.
so sweet.
That was so
thank you,
sweet.
Kathleen, for
Yes.
that. I love that. I think it's
That is
beautiful.
sweet.
Little sister and big sister.
Yeah, that is sweet. I love that willow tree figurines.
Okay, now we're going to get over there and we're going to melt some chocolate and we're going to melt some caramel. And I probably should, we both of us are walking away from this camera, Mary.
I know, I can't.
We just keep
I
doing
just-
it. So,
would you hand me a wet rag, please? Thank you.
so I have got 2 containers out here.
So what are you doing now, Linda?
I'm going to melt the stuff to go in.
The chocolate and stuff?
Yeah.
In the microwave?
You have to be careful because, you know, it may solidify and then you got to melt it again. But I'm going to go ahead and melt these, and these cookies have to cool before you.
So I'll just move the camera over there,
Yes,
Linda.
if you don't mind, Mary. Yes, thank you. I've toasted about 3 cups of pecans, and y'all know how I am with pecans. I don't follow the recipe with pecans. I always put in more. And I just roughly chopped them because I didn't want them real fine. When I want something roughly chopped, I don't use a chopper. I do it by
I don't
hand.
either.
Don't they smell good?
Mm-hmm, they do.
If you want your nuts to really bring
Yeah.
out the flavor, you need to roast them.
Yeah.
You can do it in the microwave. You don't have to do it in the oven. In fact, I prefer to do it in the microwave. And then just give them a rough chop. So I've got the 2 cups, and then I got these here. Then I'm going to use some semi-sweet chocolate chips.
And this is a filling that you're going to put in the...
And most of the time, I don't measure these because I usually always have more than I need. But I'm gonna, I don't know. This is probably about maybe a cup, a little over a cup. I'm gonna get these melted, and then we're gonna pour a little bit of heavy cream in them. To just kind of give that a little bit of, so it'll stir real good. Now, when you're melting something, now I'm going to forget I can't use the timer and this at the same time. So I need to get my other timer out here to set for my cookies.
That happened to me 2 or 3 times yesterday. I use my microwave as a timer. I have a timer, but I don't know why that it's just so easy. It's easier for me to set the timer on the microwave than it is to use a timer, but
Okay, so we need 3
sometimes
minutes,
you
right?
need 2.
Okay, so we'll check the cookies when that goes off, and I'll stop this. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to do this on about 45 seconds at a time,
Okay.
and then I'm going to use the caramel bits for the caramel to drizzle, and I will do that after I get these done. And I'm going to grab the heavy cream out of the refrigerator.
Okay.
So you can use the little squares. That's what we used to use, but I love this because you don't have to unwrap anything. It's just Kraft caramel bits, and this is
I
in
like
the bacon
those.
section.
I like
bacon
those.
section.
Instead of unpeeling those caramel, the little caramel squares.
Takes
That's a lot of
forever.
work to take all those wrappers
Yeah.
off of that caramel.
It does. Mary, you can check that.
All right. Are you just using the spoon to stir it?
Yeah, you can just start with a spoon.
It doesn't take, once it starts melting,
This
it
is
doesn't
heavy
take that
whipping
long.
cream, Kroger brand. And the difference in heavy whipping cream and regular whipping cream is the heavy is more stable, especially if you're making homemade whipping cream. You want to use the heavy whipping cream because it's more stable than just regular whipping cream. So, in case you want to know the difference. You know, we have been around a while, and we have learned a lot of what we know by trial and error.
Right, that's right.
You do one thing, it doesn't work, then you know real quick to correct it.
I just always use the heavy whipping cream because I like the thickness of it and the richness of it.
I'm gonna pour it. Go ahead and pour it a little bit in.
Okay.
This is cold. I always smell this. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Never fails. I always
I'm
smell
afraid
it.
I'm afraid I'm gonna put it in there and it not be any good.
And I'm not even measuring that. And I could, but I'm not. I'll know when I stir it if it needs more in it or not.
So you don't stir it when you put the milk in there. You just
No.
let it blend.
I'm gonna let it.
Now, did you changed your time on your microwave for
I
this?
set this. Oh, and did that go that one off? Okay, I need to check this. Okay. Well, they're definitely not done, so let me set it for 3 more minutes because
Okay.
it's 9 to 12 minutes.
Okay. My little magnet came off the back of it.
Oh no.
I can reattach it. Just have it.
I love this comment from Betty Cook. She says that she learns something new every time I watch y'all. Thank you.
Oh, that is so
Thank you,
sweet,
Betty.
Betty. That is so sweet. You know, we tell y'all this all the time. We are not professional.
No.
You know, we are home cooks, and I know how to put a meal on the table, even though some of y'all might not think it because I bake a lot. And Mary knows how to bake. It's just that she probably cooks more
Food
than I do, and I do more baking than
yeah.
she does, or at least.
Yeah,
you know,
that is true.
sometimes.
That is true. Depends on the occasion, you know, what we're doing.
Okay. My nose is itching. What does that mean?
I don't know. It's company's
Somebody's
coming.
coming?
Company's coming. That's why we were always told. Your nose itching, you're going to have company.
All right. Let me check my cookies again. You know, 2 or 3 minutes goes by really
Yes, it
quick.
does.
That's why you need a timer. All right.
Smells so good.
All right. Let's see here what we got. I think these are done. Yep,
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
done. And
Yeah.
I'm actually going to press that. I'm going to get that
While
wooden
it's
thing
soft.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to press that down. These are not quite done yet because
Yeah.
these are a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
And I'll leave those in there just a little bit longer.
Did you want to put that where they can see it? See you do it?
Can
I can move the camera if you want me to.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind, Mary. I think I'm going to get one of these deli sheets and put it over this. You want to do this while it's
Yeah.
warm.
Those caramel bits.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's Kraft brand. If you don't do this while it's warm,
Yeah.
then
It won't mash. Yeah, because
it won't be
cookies
real-
get hard quite quick.
And you may think that these look like they're not done, but let me tell you, that's
Yeah.
a pan.
Be careful. Yeah, it's
That's
hard.
probably one of the biggest mistakes people make with cookies
Right.
is they overbake
Right.
them.
Yeah, you cook a cookie too long, and it'll be when it gets cold, it'll be so hard you can't bite it.
So I'm going to put these. I say I was going to put them in the utility room. I don't have a place in there to set nothing, so I'm going to set these on the table over here on this rack
Okay.
and just let them sit here and cool
Okay.
because they do need to be cool before we put.
I hope that y'all seen what she done. She used that wooden dough press and mashed her flat cookie down a little bit more while it was hot, and to make it have a little well in it, so she could put her little goodies in it, and it'll stay.
Okay. Let's stir this again. You know what I was dreaming when I woke up this morning, Mary?
What?
you know how our house that we grew up in, that our daddy built, and Mama,
Yeah.
has been gone for several years.
Yes.
Well, last night, or this morning actually, I was dreaming it when I woke up. I dreamed that there was a bunch of us there.
Mm-hmm.
It was our house, and we very well knew it was our house,
Yeah.
but it looked different. Me and you and Mama and several other people there. But I know specifically that we were there, and it was
Yeah.
raining really hard. I wonder why I dreamed it was raining. 'Cause
She's scared.
It's been raining cats and dogs for
Yeah.
days here. Every day we have a thunderstorm. But we were getting ready for something, and we walked into the living room, and I was just like, I was in awe because I was in our living room.
Is that right?
The floors were concrete. We
Yeah.
always had linoleum over them.
Yeah.
It was a big room.
Yeah, it was a big.
And I remember in my dream saying, when you're a child, things look bigger than they really are when you become an adult.
Yeah.
And I remember in the dream saying, this really was a big room. I mean, for back in the
Yeah.
day, they
Yeah,
didn't
it was a
have
big
rooms
room.
that big.
No, it
And
was
we were
big.
in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and there was only one bathroom because that's all we
Yeah.
ever had in our house
Yeah.
was one bathroom. And we were each taking turns getting ready in the bathroom. That was just the strangest
Is that
dream,
right?
but it was just
Made you
a
feel
good
home.
feel
Yeah.
dream because
Yeah.
it was like we were home.
Right.
It
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I get very nostalgic when I think about anything to do with Mama or Daddy or when we were kids. And
We have lots of memories, and good memories, in for our childhood. We just always had something going on. We didn't have a lot of time to get bored because we had cousins over a lot.
if we ever got bored, I can guarantee that our Mama got us on board real
Right.
quick.
She told us she had something we could do. We wouldn't be bored, and it'd be ironing clothes or sweeping or something.
And she put us to work.
Yeah.
There was always something.
We
to
would get
do.
up. We get up in the mornings and we'd have our breakfast. We made our beds every morning. I mean, the girls made the beds. Charles and Edward. They probably never made a bed in their life, or unless after they got grown. But we made the beds for them. Remember?
Yes, we did. We did the inside.
We did. The boys didn't do any housework when we were growing up. They did the outside work, and that's just a generation.
Yeah,
and
our daddy cooked. It wasn't
Yeah.
that it was the men couldn't cook or the men
Yeah.
couldn't do housework. Daddy did housework,
Yeah.
but the boys didn't. I
the
can
boys-
guarantee you the boys didn't.
I always picked up after them, picked the dirty clothes
Ironed
up,
their
washed the clothes, ironed the clothes, and made the beds.
Okay, so if y'all will see this, it's still, these cookies were still a little bit soft in the middle, but they're going to finish cooking
Yeah.
in this pan. You didn't
Yeah.
want to cook them any longer. And then you've got that nice little well there that we're going to put this chocolate in. But this has got to cool too because
Yeah.
we can't put it in there. In fact, we're going to take these out of
Those
the
little ones get cooled pretty quickly, won't they?
Yeah, they will.
Because they're a lot thinner than those in the muffin pan.
So I'm going to get the caramel.
Have you got it about melted?
Yeah, I think this is good here.
Okay.
Now, this is not milk chocolate. It's
It's
semi-sweet.
semi-sweet. Okay.
And my plan was, which I'm not eating any of this anyway, but my plan was to do milk. But a lot of people
Milk
do like the
chocolate?
darker chocolate.
Yeah.
So I figured that's what I had out, so I would just
Okay.
go with it.
It's okay.
It's not completely smooth, but it's getting there. Let me stick this in there
Okay.
and melt this. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off here.
Okay. Were those, did you have those in the freezer? You think they might have been a little harder? Or
No,
cut
I
that all
didn't.
out?
I took
Okay.
them out.
Oh, okay.
I do keep them in the freezer.
Yeah, I do too.
But that's a very good
Yeah.
point, Mary. Thank you for saying that. If you store your baked goods like this, which we do in the freezer, you do need to let them set out at room temperature because it's going to take forever to melt them
Yeah.
if they're ice cold.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for mentioning that.
You're welcome. Now, I see you got caramel there, or are you using that or
I
not?
just want to show you that if you are pushed for time, or you just don't want to, or you don't have any caramel bits and you have some caramel sauce for ice cream, you can use this. It takes this longer to set, and it doesn't set well. It's sticky. So this, what I'm melting in the refrigerator, in the microwave, will set.
And it's hard to get out of that too.
Yeah,
for me.
well, I microwave it.
Well, I know, I do too, but
Back in the day when I ate
Yeah.
ice cream,
Yeah.
I could get it out real quick if I was making ice cream. But I ain't had ice cream in a while. Oh my goodness, I love ice cream. Okay.
I used to not eat ice cream, but in my
Scott's
older years,
son
I
brought,
do.
his sisters gave him a ice cream maker,
Uh-huh.
and he brought it. It's still in the box. He hadn't
Okay.
opened it yet because he was wanting to make some homemade ice cream.
Yeah.
I made 2 big buckets of
Did
it.
you?
I did.
Oh,
It was
my
I know it was
goodness.
good.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, I have 2 ice cream makers
Do you?
in my storage, brand
Yeah.
new, and it's still in the box.
Yeah,
Need to get it out this summer.
you do.
And use it.
Homemade ice cream is
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
But you need to put my little, I had a little thing that I
What
explained.
you need?
Now Mike's not here, so I can't blame it on him. I would
Oh, thank
definitely-
God you
I-
moved it.
I would definitely blame it on him if he was here.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
What
somewhere.
was you looking for?
I was going. It's the little squeeze bottle. I washed it, but I don't know where I put it. Okay.
Oh, I don't see it, Linda.
You
might
can
have
put this
just-
over there, and
Which one do
that's
we take?
hot, Mary.
That's all right.
I'll
I
take
can
something
take
to set this on.
Oh, okay. And we're gonna take it where? To the
Yeah, I'm gonna set it over here on the counter.
Okay. Here?
Yeah, put that caramel on there if you will, and I will
Okay.
move this around.
Okay.
I don't know if I got that position right.
If it's
or
Let me-
not, I'll adjust it.
Let me move this.
not. Okay.
This is the chocolate that she just got through melting in the refrigerator. And whew, and that's still hot. It's the caramel. It was those caramel bites.
Right.
It's nearly all melted. Enough, plenty enough. But it is that dark chocolate. Is that dark chocolate or
It's
just a
semi-sweet.
semi-sweet?
It's not dark. If
Yeah.
it was dark, it
Yeah.
would be hot. But I'm going to very carefully take this out of here.
Okay.
And
So let's
It's totally
get this
baffling
so
me.
you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna move some of this over so they can see what we're doing here.
You move this.
You can.
Oh, I don't see that little bottle you talking about.
I have no idea what happened to it. Maybe he did put it up when he left.
She's gonna blame Mike for it, even if she did it.
I'm
He won't
serious.
know.
I'm serious, y'all.
Y'all don't tell him.
Y'all don't know my husband. If there's something in the refrigerator a day, he wants to know, am I going to cook it? Does it need to throw it out? If I've set something on the counter, 2 minutes later, it is gone.
You know what? Scott's real neat like that too.
That-
There's benefits and aggravations.
It can drive me nuts sometimes. Okay, you can see how quickly that came out. I have this offset spatula here, but I don't even need it. You can just take it out with your hands. And we didn't butter the pans because it had plenty butter in it. Now these are still a little bit soft, so they really do need to set.
But they did real
Yeah,
well.
a few minutes before you start putting something in them. But we're going to.
Well, so you need to let these completely cool before
Well,
you add your
they
chocolate?
need to be cool.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and put a little bit in there,
Okay.
but they really do need to be cool.
Okay.
It's just, it makes them a little harder to set if they're not cool.
Yeah. It'll take it a few more minutes for it to harden up your chocolate or your caramel.
Okay, so we're just going to kind of show y'all and how we're going to do. And just put a little spoonful of the chocolate. Okay. Now this will set. You don't want to overfill them because you're going to be putting,
I don't think I put as much in mine as you did.
some pecans. And then you're going to drizzle it with chocolate. Now I'm starting to talk low in my low voice.
Well, talk a little loud, Linda. I don't have a
Okay.
problem talking loud. I don't know why, but I always talk loud.
This sets really quick, so I'm going to stick it back in the microwave just for another
What is it? Already
few
starting to
seconds.
set?
Yeah, it sets up real quick.
Okay. And you're going to sprinkle that over the pecans?
I'm gonna drizzle the caramel over the pecans.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pecans on these that I've got
Yeah,
here,
so
so
they
it'll
can
so
set.
it'll set in the chocolate. You did leave these kind of big pieces of pecans, but I mean I like that when you bite
they
into
are.
pecan. I like the
I want you to be able to taste the pecan.
yeah.
You know, not just.
I got a little bit of chocolate on my finger. I don't want to strow this chocolate count across the pie pan. Now, did I get enough of pecans in these, Linda?
Yeah. And see, I just heated that again. This is not going to be like I want it, but since my squeeze bottle's missing, I'm just going to kind of drizzle it a little
yeah.
bit.
It'll be all right.
And it doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. Just, just drizzle it however you want to drizzle it. It just needs some on the top for it to actually be a turtle.
I'll probably be a little safer if I'd bring the cookie over here. But so far I hadn't dropped any chocolate.
You're doing good. And even if this caramel goes over on the cookie, that's okay too. On the cookie part.
Oh yeah.
Are those
Nothing.
cookie pans Pampered Chef?
No.
The muffin, no.
Muffin pans are?
The muffin pans,
Wilton.
that particular muffin pan wasn't, but we do have muffin pans. But these little, I almost cut your finger there, Mary. These little whoopie pans are Cake Boss.
Okay.
Y'all know how I am with my discount stores. I am so sad and bummed that Tuesday morning is going out of business. I hate that so bad. That's one
Me
of
too.
my good stops when I'm in town. That's one of my first stops I always go to.
Right now it's going out of business. Things are 10% off, which is really not a lot. It's really not. And they're getting a lot of
Pays the
business.
tax, yeah.
Yeah, they just getting a lot of business.
Carla, do you remember? This would have been in 2007, and the
Okay.
reason I know it because it was the first year that I was traveling with the project that I worked on, and I was working in Pasadena, California, which is a suburb of LA, and I went in a Tuesday morning store. It was the first one I'd ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
Haley was a baby. She was probably about 9 months old. And I found a little brand that I had never seen before because Haley was the first grandchild. So, I hadn't bought baby stuff in a long time. And it was called iPlay. It was made in the USA, and it was I believe it's out of North Carolina. And I think they're still in business because I've seen their things before. They have like little swimsuits and for children,
Yeah.
little diaper swimsuits, and they had a rain poncho. It's blue and white. Remember, Carla?
Yes.
I bought it for Haley.
Yes.
Was the cutest thing I had ever seen. I was so excited, and it didn't cost much, but I sent it to you. Remember, Carla?
Yes.
and she, she had Haley ever since she was born. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, she. I don't mean she had her all the time, but she
No,
had her
I
a
just
lot.
was very involved.
Yes, very involved. And it was raining one night, and she
Yeah.
took her to church with that little poncho on. You
Yes,
remember? You remember what
I
all the
do.
ladies were asking you?
I do.
Where did she get that from?
Yes. Yes.
You told her your aunt bought it for her and kept from California. They didn't know it come from a discount store.
You buy a lot of
one
nice
of
things
the
at discount.
times I took them little girls to church with me, they were dolled up.
I know it. I know it.
I loved it so
Yeah.
much. I really
You
did.
sure did make a difference in those kids' life. And they, they get grown.
Yeah. I
They won't
remember
forget
showing
it.
up on their doorstep, all four of them, with just an armful of church things, shoes,
Yeah.
clothes,
Get them
hair
ready.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yes, to get them ready to go.
And Haley will be 14 in June.
Yes.
Just
I
a few
know.
days.
Third.
I
She's
know.
going to be
And,
14, going to high school.
I know.
Can you
And
believe
Kaylin will be 13 in
Yep.
September.
It don't
Sure
seem
will.
like it.
And
We don't even get to see them.
very seldom ever. I was thinking
Hardly
about it
ever.
this morning. Probably between the three of us, we probably bought everything they wore for
Probably,
the first 9 years of their
Yeah.
life, 10 years of their life,
Yeah.
probably, maybe longer.
A good part of it, most of
Their
it.
Christmas, their
Yeah.
Easter, their school clothes. I remember Renee telling me that the kids knew when I ordered. I'm a big Von Meyer fan, and Von Meyer is a really nice store. It's something kind of like Neiman Marcus, a little higher up
Yeah,
than Dillard's. And the first time that I went in the store I was in Polaris, Ohio, which is a suburb, I can't even talk today, of Columbus, Ohio. And there was this huge mall across from the hotel where we were staying in. And so on downtime, you always needed something to do. So I started going over there to the mall. Well, I walked in this store, and I was just a little bit in hog heaven because they had live piano music playing. Their bathrooms were bigger than my house. I mean, literally the nicest bathroom I've ever been in my life. And I just started going over there, and I started buying. Well, their clothes and their stuff is very expensive. But, I'm a bargain shopper, so I go straight to the clearance racks.
Yeah.
And Von Meyer does markdowns on Wednesday. So every Wednesday night, I'm on my little phone, I'm checking the markdowns, and I buy stuff from them. So they ship for free. And I would always buy stuff for the kids, and I would get it wrapped because they gift wrap for free too. So I'd gift wrap it and have their little cards put on there with their names. And they were little bitty. I mean, they couldn't read. They wasn't old enough to read, but they knew when a box was on their doorstep from Von Meyer. They knew it was for me because they knew that I sent them stuff all the time like that. And I miss those kids so
I
much.
do too.
So do I.
do too.
It's just,
I do too.
I'm hoping that one of these days that things will be different. But I sure do miss them and think about them all the time.
Divorces are
I
a
do too.
tragedy, even when they're not grossly
Yes.
mishandled.
Which this one was. but-
Yes. But it's a sad thing when children are, not allowed to be a part of people who genuinely care
Yes.
and love and support
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
little
Renee's
things.
family loves those kids.
Of course.
The
And
other
we're
the
not
other
allowed
family
to
would
see
buy
them.
them an outfit a year, and that's when they took pictures and paraded them in front of everybody. And the rest of the year we bought them, right?
Yes.
We did. So not to be downers today, but I just had the kids on my mind and just thinking about
So
them
have I.
and thinking about all the little dresses. I see all the photos on my. I mean, these kids had clothes before they were born. We were buying them clothes. I mean, I remember when Kaylin, they had originally, they were going to name her Taylor. They were giving her my middle name, and they did give her my middle name. And I've always been really connected to Kaylin. Her name is Kaylin Faye.
Yes.
But I have pictures on my personal Facebook page that has Taylor Faye on it before they decided to name her Kaylin
Yep.
instead of Taylor. So that shows you how long I've been buying clothes for those kids. And then they changed her name, decided to call her Kaylin, and
Yeah.
Kaylin fits her. She's
does.
such a sweet child.
She is. And she loves to sing. She's real shy, like we are. well, y'all aren't, but I'm shy. But when she, the choir programs that I was getting to see her in before all this, she gets up there in that microphone and is bold. She does such a good job. She's helping other people do their parts.
Oh, that is awesome.
It is because
That
she's really shy one-on-one, you know.
Yeah.
But she wasn't shy to sing in the choir.
Yeah. Precious kids. Precious kids.
And the boys are too. We
Yes.
we love the boys just as much as we did the girls. The
Absolutely.
girls are just older than the
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the little muffin cups. Now these are not quite as crunchy because they're thicker, but I'm just going to take a couple of them out, and after they set, they
I
will
was
get.
anxious to know how they done. I think I could have mashed it a little bit more,
Well,
but I didn't know.
yeah, and this is the this was just kind of like a trial thing too, and I've made them in the muffin cups before, but we'll fill those 3, Mary.
Okay.
And I definitely want y'all to take some home with you.
Yeah, Haley, I was on a job in San Antonio, and I dropped some on that one.
That's okay.
And I mean, I got through it that day, and I took off for Wichita Falls.
That was the date she was born.
The day she was born, yeah. And that was, she was born 3 days before Renee graduated from high school. And Renee graduated from high school, she was in a wheelchair.
She did. They made her. That's the only
Yep.
condition that
Yeah.
the doctors would give her a release
Yeah.
that she had to have.
She had to have the wheelchair to go across the stage to get her diploma. But she did, and that little bitty tiny baby, I was so, because that was my first great grandbaby, Haley
And
was.
Renee was determined. Renee is
Yes.
full of grit and determination.
And
Yes,
that's what she
Renee.
said, I'm graduating, and she did.
She was not going to be
Yep.
cheated out of her graduation, and she
Right.
didn't either.
She's one of the strongest women
She is.
I've ever
She
known.
is
in
very
my
tough,
life.
and she'd have to be
Yeah.
what she's
Right,
No
what
joke.
she's been
gone
through.
through. I didn't quite get that melted enough, did I? Let me melt this just a tiny bit more.
Okay.
So y'all can try one of those if y'all want to, since I'm not.
Well, I will.
I will.
I will too. I'll take this one. I don't quite as much caramel. Is that pretty?
I'll take a little one.
Thank you, Jesus. I better break this. I've been to the dentist,
All right.
and I don't get till next month. I get
Oh my goodness. Wow.
my partial fix.
Wow. Good doesn't even come close.
Very good.
It's divine.
Very
Dangerously divine. How about that?
And that chocolate's not that bitter.
I know Mary
I don't like
I
it as
know
well.
Mary don't like it. Linda would like it.
Yeah. And the caramel's already hard.
Yeah, the caramel sets really fast. Now, when you're melting this caramel in the microwave, if you use these bits, you do want to be careful because you could scorch it real easy. So you want to be careful and only do it a few seconds at a
It's
time.
very good.
It's just going to fall down on there, I think.
It's all right. It's good. You did a good job, Linda.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the help. I'm glad Carla's with us today, too.
Me
Yeah.
too. I love it on days I get to be with y'all.
Me too.
I really enjoy getting to see my girls and Linda as much as I do because of this program.
Me too. I have so much to be thankful for.
Me
I
too.
really do. Y'all say that all the time, but it makes a life that's lived with an attitude of gratitude was
Yes.
a good life.
And you know,
It is.
we all have things that we go through
Of course.
probably on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little petty things that irritate us or something. But when you stop to look at the hot, it's stuck to your
I'm doing
tooth.
messes.
When you stop to look at the big picture and you think about what some people are going through, some people today are planning funerals.
Mhm.
You know, they've lost their children.
Yeah.
they're in chemo. I noticed this morning, I won't say her name, but one of our sweet followers was there to get a treatment, or I'm assuming that's what it was. We have several people, in fact, that watch us that are on cancer treatment, and people that have heart problems, people that have lost loved ones that are really having a hard time coping. And when you think about that, you really do realize what you have to be thankful for. If you ever get to feeling like, you're the only person in the world that's ever gone through anything, because people are human, you think that. If you live close enough, you go to a children's hospital. And I'll guarantee you walk in that children's hospital and you see these children that have terminal ill diseases. And I remember several years ago when my pastor and his wife's son, their middle son, had a brain tumor. And I was traveling at the time, but I happened to be in Ohio, and the hospital that they chose was the Children's Hospital of Cincinnati. So I went, and I was there during surgery, and then I went back another time. I believe I did. I don't want to say something wrong, but I believe I went back another time to visit them. And you're out there in that waiting room where there's families out there that they don't know if they're going to have a live child that day or not. One thing that impressed me so much, and there was a whole bunch of us there from the church with them, that impressed me so bad, they allowed no food or drink in that waiting room because all these little children that were in there waiting to go in for surgery, they couldn't have anything to eat or drink. So in order for them to feel like they were being fair to those sweet children, they didn't allow anyone to have anything in their eating. And I just thought that was so considerate. Because little children, they don't always understand why they can't have something if somebody next to them is having something. So if you wanted something to eat, you had to go to the cafeteria to get it.
That reminds me of what happened to me yesterday. I carried Braden to the doctor, and I had to drop him off and come back and get him. So I went to McDonald's and got me a Happy Meal. That's what I got. I got me a Happy Meal with chicken nuggets, and I was sitting there eating it. And then this lady came in with two little children, and they was probably 2 and 3 years old, and she just looked so sad. And she sat down, and then the manager of McDonald's came in and sat down by her, and the woman started apologizing to her for being late. She was there for an application for a job, but she had her kids with her, and she said, "I'm sorry that I'm late," but I couldn't hear the whole conversation, but something about a gas station. I don't know I don't know what it was, but anyway, all I heard was say gas station, and the manager told her, she said, "That's okay, as long, I don't mind people being late if something comes up, but as long as you notify me." And she said, "You did great. You called and let me know that you was going to be late." I was sitting there eating them fries, and those little kids was being excellent. They were being so nice and polite. I couldn't hardly stand to eat. I walked over to the manager and I said, "Would it interfere your interview if I bought these little kids a Happy Meal?" And I asked the mother. She said, "Oh no, absolutely not." So I went up there and got them a Happy Meal. Sweet little kids said thank you, and the mother said thank you, but the mother almost had tears in her eyes. And when I went back and sat down, when I got ready to leave, I just handed her some money. I says, "Get you something too." And it was more than what she had to eat. But, the woman probably needed gas money. It just broke my heart because she's there trying to get a job, but she had to bring her kids with her on the interview. And that just touched my heart so much.
We have never been hungry. I can truthfully say I've never been hungry in my life. There may have been something I wanted that I didn't have or couldn't get, but I was not hungry. But when you see something like this, Mary, it really checks your
Those
spirit.
Little kids
it really does.
It just broke my heart. And then, I gave her just about all I had change of money, but it was enough. But again, thinking, why should I should have just given one of them $100 bills, and then I worried about that. But at the moment, that's what I
sure
I
that
felt.
it touched her very much, and the little children too. I'm sure it did. We thank y'all so much for watching us and for sharing things that we love and for being so faithful to watch us. And we are not going to be on tomorrow. We will be traveling to Mississippi Thursday, and then we will be live over there 2 or 3 times for anyone that wants to come. It'll be Saturday in the sanctuary at 10:30, Jesus Name Tabernacle. It's 1944 Highway 49 South in Florence, Mississippi. If you're familiar with Highway 49, it's an extremely busy highway. Our church is on the north side, and when you turn, if you're coming from Jackson or Richland, there is a way for you to turn, but please be very careful. There's a little knoll there, and it's, you know, those cars come very fast, so you have to be very careful about that. And the other way, if you went to Florence and made a U-turn and come up, then you would be on the right side. But if anybody wants to come, you are more than welcome to come. It will not be a formal church service, but we will be in the sanctuary. If anyone's coming, please, you know, keep that in mind. I've asked everyone not to wear shorts or tank tops or anything like that because it is our church. And then after we get through, we're going to sing and talk and tell stories. And you're probably going to hear some, well, there won't be wild tales about me because I was a rule follower, but you may hear some funny stories
You'll
about
hear
me.
some good ones from Linda's younger days.
And then we're going to break for just a few minutes and go down to the youth center. And it's just going to be like, more than refreshments, but it's not a meal. We're going to have chips and dip and salad and some sweets. And don't let me forget about something to drink. I still haven't got that together yet, so I don't know if anybody's what they're bringing to drink, but I know we'll definitely have some water there.
Yeah.
So thanks again. We love y'all so much. Be sure to show kindness, and it does not mean that you have to do a lot. Sometimes, what's the
Little
old
things.
song? Little is much when God
Yes,
is in it.
yes.
Brother, what's his name? Used to sing that from Terrell, Texas. I can't think of his name. He was a pastor there, but
Brother
he used
Martin?
to sing. No, it wasn't Brother Martin. It was I can't remember his name. Anyway, he used to sing that song, "Little is much when God is in it." So we'll see y'all before the week's out. I don't know. We may
Thursday.
do a live on the way
On
up there
Thursday,
Thursday.
yeah.
And be sure to count your blessings. And thank you again so very much for loving us.
Bye.
Bye bye.